Hello everybody, welcome back to the GeetarSean YouTube channel. So, another day, another video. Now, in today's video, we're going to be checking out 3 of my own personal Gibson Custom Shop guitars. The first one is a 1959 reissue ES-335. The second one is a 59 reissue Gibson Les Paul from the Murphy Lab. And the third one is a 1960 reissue Les Paul Special in TV Yellow. What I love about these guitars is the fact that they all come from the custom shop and they all have something completely different to offer. 3 different recipes from Gibson. You've got your classy, sophisticated side with your 335. You've got the growl and the legendary rock machine that is the Les Paul, and then you've got the stripped back rebellious side that is the Les Paul Special. This video isn't about what one's better than the other. They all offer completely different things and inspire me in completely different ways. And stay tuned to the end because what I'm going to be doing is comparing how they sound. Let's have a look at guitar number 1. ES-335. This guitar might be the most elegant guitar that I actually own. I mean, just look at this thing. It oozes class. There's just something about a 335 that feels mature. And weirdly enough, every time I pick this guitar up, it almost changes my approach to playing. What makes an ES-335 so special is that it sits perfectly between a hollow body and a solid body design. So you'll get all that openness and resonance from the semi-hollow side of it, but because of that maple center block, it still feels focused and controlled. And even acoustically, this guitar has got some ring to it. And it's probably the most different guitar we'll look at today. Even though it's similar to the Les Paul with the humbuckers, it gives off an unexpected vibe that you would expect from a solid-bodied guitar. The Custom Shop reissue, based on an original 59, that will come with that really comfortable late 50s profile neck. It doesn't feel too big, doesn't feel too small either. This guitar comes with what they call a VOS finish. It stands for Vintage Original Spec. What I think Gibson are looking for you to take from that is that it's a guitar made in 1959, but it's sat in its case waiting for you to come and get it since then. So the only things that are really happened to the guitar is some tarnished metal here or there. The finish isn't quite as glossy as you would get from a brand spanking new guitar. But I can tell you one thing, this guitar does not feel like a brand new instrument, even though it's only 2 years old. This is the type of guitar that slows you down, makes you think. It's the most versatile instrument that Gibson has to offer. In fact, recently I was watching an interview with Joe Bonamassa. He was getting interviewed by Jared James Nichols and Music Is Win. And he claims his favourite 59 Les Paul is actually his ES-335.
My best sounding Les Paul that I play on stage every single night is my 335.
Nice.
And the neck on these are basically what a Les Paul has to offer. Mahogany back, rosewood board, and you've got laminated maple on the front and back. The neck might seem similar to Les Paul, but this body is completely different. Talking about Les Pauls, let's see what this one's got to offer. What we've got here is a 1959 reissue Les Paul from the Murphy Lab. And there's something about this guitar that just feels completely mythical. All my heroes play these guitars, and it's been a dream of mine to get a hold of one of these. And I'm fortunate enough and truly grateful that I've managed to get myself what I would class as a really good one. It comes in your classic factory sunburst finish and has all the bells and whistles that you would expect a Les Paul to have. Visually, this thing is unbelievable. And I really love what the guys in at the Murphy Lab have done. They've made this feel like I'm actually holding a real 1959 Les Paul right now that's been not necessarily put through the mill because the aging isn't exactly overdone, and you'll see that on your screen just now. Now, unlike the ES-335, this guitar screams. It's screaming at you, and it screams when you play it. It wants you to dig in, it wants you to play hard, and it wants you to play some classic rock and roll. Again, this guitar will come with a 1959 neck carve, which I like to call the Goldilocks neck because it sits right in the middle and is very comfortable straight off the bat. A quick story time for you. I remember when I was about 12, I was in first year at school and there was a band who were in 6th year that was playing in one of the gym halls and we all got to go along and see them play. The lead guitarist and singer was playing a Les Paul. Now I'm not sure what it was. It could have been an Epiphone, it could have been a Gibson, it could have been anything. But to me, it just looked incredible. And when I walk in my studio every morning to start teaching and I see this guitar, I get that same feeling every single time. Because this thing is pure magic. Now, I don't believe a real 59 Les Paul should be going for £500,000 to £1 million, but hey ho, if somebody's willing to pay it, let them. This guitar seems relatively cheap in comparison. I also don't believe that these should be the price that they are either, although where else are you going to get this quality of Les Paul and as accurate as this guitar is? Now, they claim down to the glue they use, the plastics they use. I remember talking to a guy in Guitar and he says that they actually make the plastics to a molecular level. Now, how crazy does that sound? So you're really paying for the craftsmanship, you're paying for the accuracy, and you're paying for what I would say is probably the most popular and recognizable guitar on the planet. Now, you'll know the construction of a Les Paul already probably, but just to go over it, we've got the flaming maple top, mahogany back, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard, exactly how a Les Paul should be. And this thing rings like a bell. It is so resonant. This is the guitar you grow up seeing in all the magazines, seeing your favourite players playing. And to be honest, it's probably the one I gravitate to more out of all three of these guitars. Believe it or not, I actually managed to convince the guitarist who played in the band at my wedding to use this guitar for the gig so that I could claim that this guitar had actually played at my wedding. And I'll put some photos on the screen if I can find any. That's how much this guitar means to me. And you'll all know, being guitar players, we've all got that dream guitar. This one's up there for me, and you'll hear how it sounds later in the video. But for now, let's have a look at the Les Paul Special. Right guys, just a quick interruption. If you want to get your hands on this Squire Classic Vibe 1960s Strat, fully upgraded with a Fender bridge and a custom shop loaded pickguard, all you need to do is be subscribed to the channel. The winner will get picked at complete random when I hit 5,000 subscribers. Now, if you've not subscribed already, what are you waiting on? Right, back to the video. And then there's this, the 1960 reissue Les Paul Special in the classic TV yellow. And this guitar feels like the complete opposite to the 59 Les Paul. The Les Paul feels prestigious, luxurious, whereas this guitar feels stripped back and rebellious. And honestly, that's what I love about it, because there is something really cool about how simple this guitar actually is. You've got your full mahogany body construction, your wraparound bridge, you've got your double P90s, we've not got your fancy maple top or any of your flashy appointments in this guitar. And somehow that simplicity gives it even more personality, I think. In 1960, that's when Gibson changed to the double cutaway design, which if I'm honest with you, I actually prefer to the single cut when it comes to the specials. The idea is that it made things feel faster, lighter, and much easier to access those higher frets if you needed to. And unlike the guitars from the 50s with the massive chunky necks, this guitar comes with a 60 profile, which I think, nice and slick, feels very modern, which I'm sure a lot of guitarists would gravitate towards. Now let's talk about this TV yellow finish. One of my favourite colours that Gibson has to offer. The finish is slightly translucent, so you can actually see the wood grain underneath because they use this dark filler to make it pop through the finish. And I think it gives it that proper vintage look. In the name TV yellow, there seems to be quite a few stories behind it as well. Some say that Gibson designed this colour so it stood out better on your black and white TVs of the 50s. And others seem to think that it's inspired by old furniture from that time, which had this whitewashed mahogany effect to it. But honestly, I think it's a finish that they just chose because they knew it looked good on a guitar. The Les Paul Juniors, the Les Paul Specials, they were designed to be a stripped back working musician's guitar, unlike your gold tops and your Les Paul Customs of that time. Now before plugging this guitar in, I knew it was going to sound different for the other two guitars. With these P90s, it just seems to cut through and it's got that poke, unlike the humbuckers on the other two guitars. Now you will get more of a buzz and some feedback from a set of P90s, but honestly, it's totally worth it when you hear the sound of them. This guitar just has pure character. It's got the vintage look, it's got the vintage feel, and the vintage sound. It's exactly what you're looking for when you buy a guitar like this. And just like the 335, it's got that VOS finish again, so a slightly dull tone to its finish. Now it's finally time to listen to these three guitars and see, do they actually sound different, or are they closer than you think? Let me know what you think in the comments, because what I've done is I've played them back to back, playing the exact same thing to give it a fair comparison. So get your headphones on to make sure that you can actually really listen out for it. Here we go. Now what were your ears telling you there? For me, the 335, that almost had a vocal element to it. It had that thickness, smoothness from the lower end, but you could make it rock if you really felt like it. Whereas the Les Paul, that had some authority to it. That is the tone we all chase. Whereas this Les Paul Special, that is a rock machine. It's raw, it's ready, it's unforgiving. But one thing I will say is that every single one of these guitars are absolutely incredible. They've all got sustain for days. Their resonance is second to none, and they all look ridiculously cool. Genuinely making this video makes me appreciate these guitars all over again, because they are works of art. Let me know what you think of the guitars in the comments. These things blow my mind every single day. Now I hope you enjoyed me geeking out over my guitars, and I appreciate it if you've made it this far into the video. I'll hopefully be looking at more guitars in my collection soon, so make sure you subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on that. I'm knocking my pan in every weekend making these videos for you guys, so do us a wee favour, head down, leave a like in the video. It helps boost the channel and gets my videos out to guys like yourself who's interested in geeking out on guitars like me. Now check out the description if you want to support the channel, and remember, rock on.